everybody. Hope you all had a good off season. I know I had a pretty good rest, much needed rest. And now, at least here in NorCal, the weather's starting to warm up and I'm getting excited for the upcoming race season. So I thought I would go back to something a few months ago, the Into the Lion's Den crit, and do a little commentary on it. So this was back in October. It was the day before Halloween. And yeah, let's get into it. So here's a little moment. This was on the first lap actually, where this guy with the pink bike, I wasn't protecting my front wheel and he moved over to the left and I had to do a little bit of a jostle with the guy on my left, and then we bumped ours. So I was awake after that. And yeah, so this was the amateur race, which had a mix of categories. It was not a normal Pro 1-2 field. So it was a little nervous at the beginning, and here's an example of me having to grab a handful of brakes just because I was on the inside and yeah, I ran into a traffic jam there. So like I said, this was the amateur race, and we were a little upset that we didn't get the invite to the pro race, quote unquote. Some teams that we had definitely been beating consistently here in the Northern California scene were invited, so we felt a little snubbed and had a little bit of a chip on our shoulder to win the people's race that we were in here. So this was just, we really did control the race well. From start to finish, we had guys attacking, basically represented in every move. And here's an example where I got to follow that Swift kid and get a free ride, and then bam, my teammate goes and counters when the field slows down. So this was just an amazing display of teamwork from all of us at Tehran. And it's fun when that works out. So yeah, I think a lot of people get caught up with like, should I buy race wheels? Do I need to do trainer road? I think the most important thing is find a team that has guys that'll consistently come out to the races, and you're gonna have more fun racing in that environment, and you guys are gonna do well just because you're not having to chase down moves and gamble with letting things go. It's just a lot more fun to have teams. So here's an example just where we have a guy up the road, and yeah, me and Matt, my teammate in front of me right here, are just able to sit on and get a free ride, and that pays dividends when you're coming into the final laps of a crit like this. So yeah, we're sitting in, and then bam, my teammate goes on the right there. So we're fast forwarded about 20-25 minutes into the race, and things are starting to get thinned out, and some moves are starting to go. And I should say the plan before the race was to have my teammates cover moves, and then me and Matt be kind of the designated sprinters to try their best to sit in. And lo and behold, here I am closing this big gap up to these guys. But yeah, I like to race aggressively, and we didn't have a guy up here. And it had a Thirsty Bear guy, which is the team in the blue kit, and then this white and green team, which I think is a junior team from Southern California. So I did this big effort, and you can see my heart rate's pretty jacked. I have about 195 beats per minute max, so we're up there. And yeah, we instantly start rotating through, and this was a pretty big move. I think we were off the front for maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and we were working well and going pretty fast. And yeah, so about 10 or 15 minutes in, another rider joins up. He bridged, which is pretty impressive because I think we had about 30 seconds. And he instantly started skipping pulls. So for me, thinking about my teammates in the field and my teammate Matt, who was on fire this season, probably being the best sprinter, I sort of started taking shorter pulls, easier pulls, and was not putting all my eggs in this basket, just because I didn't really like that rider was skipping pulls, and yeah, I didn't want to tow him along when I had such a strong team back in the peloton. This is kind of a visualization of what it looks like to have a breakaway implode. So I try to elbow through this rider that was skipping pulls. He comes through kind of reluctantly. Then I skip a pull. I make the Thirsty Bear go in front of me, and yeah, this is not good. This is not the smooth rotation that the three of us had. And yeah, and we got caught, and I was okay with that because like I said, I had a really strong team, and I was fine to rely on them. And basically at this point, I rested up until the last couple laps, and I think we're picking it up here with about 2 laps to go. So yeah, we're right at the end of the race, and this is where the fun starts. And it was actually really impressive. This green and white team, they took the initiative and took the front, and had a really strong train going. And yeah, it was a little dicey there, but yeah, they had a solid group at the front, and I was actually really impressed because I thought they were gonna Legion it. Honestly, we were at Legion's Crit, and yeah, these kids were up there, kind of like the big boys. But me and my teammates were happy to sit in behind them, and they were breaking the wind for us. And it was looking good until it really wasn't. And I think they just took the front a little early. I talked to one of them, and I think they were a little confused about the lap count. They thought there was 1 to go at that point, and I think there was 2 to go. So right here, yeah, you can hear Dave Toll doing his 1 to go. And yeah, this is make or break time. So I'm on probably the best wheel in the peloton, actually, without a doubt, the best wheel, my teammate Matt. And this is perfect. It's super exciting because this was our plan. We were gonna be the 2 sprinters, and you're gonna see coming up here that unfortunately I lose his wheel. I get jostled back, and it's tight, and there's elbowing and bumping, and yeah, I get jostled back, and this is something that I do really want to work on this coming season, is just getting these lead outs right and figuring out how to stick together and really play off each other, because you're gonna see we kind of both just almost freelance this finish. And not to give it away, it did work out pretty well, but it would be better if we were able to stick together and then have one of us lead each other out and be more sure of things, because this was a lower category race, and there's definitely a few things that we got away with that we probably wouldn't have, for sure, in the pro race, and even in kind of a normal P1-2 race with the teams like Mike's Bikes, who are pretty good at shutting things down. And a great example of a move that I'm super lucky. I would have never been able to do this in the pro race. I moved up on the inside. This is the last corner, and I just passed about 3 or 4 guys without having to pedal hard, and you're gonna see that was huge. So bam, Matt opens up this really early sprint. It was a super long final straightaway, and it was kind of funny because I almost could have jumped on his wheel, but I didn't want to close the gap to him and then have someone come around me. So I sort of waited and saw that he was pulling away, and then opened up my own sprint. And yeah, it was at this point I was kind of checking under my shoulder, and I knew we had gone 1-2, and it felt great. It felt good. Super excited for the season to come, and yeah, hopefully we can put together some more of these things. Thanks.